Hi, my name is Kalika Kay Curry. I am an expert in information technology, solutions, and communications. I have spent 13 years in the telecommunications industry, which is where I developed my passion for artificial intelligence and machine learning. I'm also an author, and I'm a small business owner. So I have been spending some time at Thinkful, learning to further develop my skill set as a data scientist. I've been working with some other data scientists, and we have been working in Python using the scikit-learn toolset to develop a series of artificial intelligence and machine learning projects that would help in making some serious business solutions across an organization using statistics. Now, a project that I would like to talk about that I've gone above and beyond on here at Thinkful is called my demographic predictor. I took a series of data sets off of Kaggle and used them to predict the demographic of several cell phone users across an organization. And these data sets provided some information as to what the users were doing on their cell phones. So we had like the application ID, we had whether or not the application was active, some information about the time of day that they were using the phone. I think there is some information about their location, specifically their location coordinates. I think I had, what else did I have? All kinds of, like, I'm lying, we had like 8 fields, categorical fields, one of them being a categorical field that explained the category of the application. So I went through and took these 7 compressed, comma delimited files and turned them into a working data set that can be used in a machine learning model to predict the demographic. Now, I had 60 hours worth of models that I wanted to run and 40 hours to do it in. Looking at the initial results, taking about, I want to say 30 seconds per model, looking and running them against the multi-class classification problem that I had determined that it wasn't possible, or at least it started to think it wasn't possible. So I got creative and I went back and I predicted the gender. In predicting the gender, I was eventually able to acquire really good results on gender prediction. In my excited state, after running, I want to say, I don't know how many unsupervised learning models, trying to balance the data set going, I had found myself visiting the demographic multi-classification problem. Because I had the time, I wasn't allowed to give up on it. And so I went back to it and found that when I was doing the multi-classification problem on an unsupervised model, the data was, the accuracy, the results were improving as I increased the number of components I was using in my dimensionality reduction. Even more excited, I ran back to my deep learning model, which was not doing that. At which point I got some help from my instructor, who was able to help me build a good artificial neural network against this data set that I had. Apparently I just had the completely wrong approach when I went to do my multi-classification on this deep learning artificial neural network that I was doing. And when I took the new approach, I got the results that I needed, 96%. Now, as you know, with artificial neural networks, they need they don't need a GPU, but if you want to process a deep learning model and get it done in an hour and a half with 7 million records, you really need a GPU. Otherwise, you can anticipate that the model is going to take a lot longer to process and predict the results for you. So I went back to my decision tree and executed the same thing, increased the number of components that I was using from my dimensionality reduction technique, and let the guy go on a grid search for 36 hours, at which point I got my results back, and they were really good. So the fun lesson there is, of course, you can't really give up on something just because it didn't produce the proper results in 30 seconds. At the same time, you're working on a deadline. You got to come up with something. I think I made the right choice in going after the gender prediction prior to further pursuing the multi-classification, because I still got my multi-classification done. I know then what I know now, and it turned out really well. At the same time, had it not turned out, then I would have nothing at this point. So now I have a classification model, or a deep learning model that predicts the gender, which is a great addition to the engineering feature set for better predictions. So yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you for taking the time to review my greetings and introductions, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.